If your agent only works inside one model, one tool, or one carefully staged chat, you do not really have an agent yet. You have a situation. One of the core ideas in Agents 101 is that if you want an agent to survive changes in model, provider, or harness, then the important knowledge cannot live only inside one giant prompt or one tool's private memory. It has to live somewhere more durable. That somewhere is usually a set of markdown files. Welcome to B Explains Everything. This sounds almost boring, and that is exactly why it matters. Markdown files are simple. They are human-readable and model-readable. They do not belong to one provider or one harness. They are just files. You can create multiple markdown files to contain the information for a particular situation, such as an agent definition for a researcher agent, a file about you, another for your preferences, and maybe even one for the current state of tasks on which you work. In the book, I show a simple version of this by taking the About Me section out of the agent definition and moving it into a separate file called aboutme.md. Then the agent definition no longer has to contain all of that text directly. It can just say, read the About Me file. That may look like a tiny change, but architecturally it is a big one. Now that knowledge is no longer trapped inside one role file. Another agent can read it. A different model can read it. A different harness can read it. And you can inspect it, edit it, version it, and move it around. This is the first concept I want you to keep. File-based knowledge is a portability layer. If your agent knowledge lives in Markdown, your agent becomes easier to migrate, easier to debug, and easier to reuse. But there is a catch. Moving knowledge into Markdown files does not magically remove context limits. If About Me, MeD, turns into a 10-page autobiography, the model still has to load that content when it reads the file. This is where the second concept becomes important, hierarchy. The book does not stop at aboutme.md. It splits that file further. Now you might have separate Markdown files for work, personal details, and food preferences. Then aboutme.md becomes a routing layer. It tells the agent which file to read depending on what it needs. This matters because good agent memory is not just about storing more information. It is about storing the right information in the right place so the agent can load only what matters for the task. If I ask for business research, work context may matter. If I ask for a family vacation plan, work context is mostly noise. If I ask for restaurant suggestions, food preferences may matter more than either of those. So the hierarchy does two jobs at once. It reduces duplication because multiple agents can share the same files. And it reduces clutter because the agent can choose the relevant branch instead of dragging everything into every task. That is a much better model of memory than what many people mean when they say the agent should remember me. Usually what they mean is, I want the system to have access to the relevant parts of my knowledge without retyping them every time. That is not mystical. That is file organization. Now let us take this one step further, because hierarchy is not just about one agent knowing things about one user. It is also about shared knowledge between agents. This is where the design starts becoming genuinely powerful. Suppose you have a researcher, a content engineer, and an operator agent. All three may need some of the same information: who you are, how you like output structured, what your business does, how you write, and what preferences should always be applied. If you duplicate that into every agent definition, you create a maintenance nightmare. Change one preference, and now you have to patch 5 agents. That does not scale. The better pattern is shared knowledge. Maybe there is a knowledge folder. Inside it, you have files for operator preferences, company context, family context, business rules, or writing voice. Then each agent reads the pieces it needs. Some knowledge is private. Some is shared. That is the hierarchy. And in the book, I show a real example from writing, a dedicated voice folder with instructions, writing samples, a sample index, and a compiled style guide that agents can use when they need to write in my style. That is not memory in the fuzzy consumer AI sense. That is organized, reusable knowledge. Notice what this gives you. First, portability. The knowledge can move with you between models and harnesses. Second, consistency. Multiple agents read the same source instead of drifting in different directions. Third, control. You decide what is shared, what is private, and what should load only in certain situations. And fourth, maintainability. Changing one file is better than changing 10 prompts. This is why I push back a bit when people talk about agent memory as if it is just a feature checkbox. Memory is not only can the model remember something. The real question is whether the knowledge is portable, inspectable, structured, and shareable. If not, then what you have is probably not durable memory. It is just hidden state. So if you are building model and harness independent agents, start here. Put durable knowledge in markdown files. Break large files into purposeful layers. Use routing files to choose the right branch of knowledge. Create shared folders for preferences and operator context that multiple agents can reuse. And keep asking the engineering question, not the hype question. What should this agent know? Where should that knowledge live? And how much of it should load right now? If you want the full walkthrough, the book goes step by step through this process, from single-file agents to adaptive and shared knowledge. The book is available at the below address. Later videos will show how to build this structure in practice so you can see exactly how the files, folders, and agent definitions fit together. If you found this useful, like and subscribe, and all the usual rituals, and I will keep turning practical agent engineering into less of a mystery. Until next time.